Hello and welcome back to History Talk. Today we're going to be talking about Saint Patrick, the Saint of Ireland, even though he's Welsh. So, Saint Patrick was a man who he had an interesting life, according to the fables. So basically, the story is that he was a nice Welshman who gets captured by pirates. And sure, what happens to him? He gets sold off as a farm labourer. And what happens is he lands up in Ireland as a farm labourer, and he goes away and he's looking at stuff, going, taking care of the farm. Anyway, next thing, he goes home to Wales, but soon he gets plagued by dreams from God, and God tells him, those Irish people over there, the way they don't believe in me. Yes, the way they're not Christians. Well, I mean, some of them are, that's fair, but they're not Roman Christians. That way. Well, what you need to do is you need to go back to Ireland and you need to convince them all that I am the true God. They already have gods. I should mention that, actually. To be honest now, I wouldn't want to put you plunged in a situation where you think they're atheists. They're not atheists now. They believe in gods. They believe in, they believe in gods, so they just don't believe in me. So, go sort that out. Anyway, so Patrick comes over to Ireland and he goes, okay, so I'm going to make you all believe in the Christian God. And he does a fair job of it now. He does a fair job of it. He picks up, the old shamrock and goes, look at this now. You see the way you've got three pieces of shamrock here? Well, what you've got here is now you've got the God, the Christ, and the Holy Ghost. And that's the thing now. So those are the three people you want to be believing in. And you'll go, okay now, Patrick, so tell us more now, huh? Tell us more. And how is this different to our gods? How is this different? And sure, Patrick goes, and this is the kind of thing you have with this situation. Because Patrick finds out a way to convince people to convert to Christianity. And it is that actually which is very interesting, because, back in the day, Ireland wasn't a Christian country. It didn't have those kind of things. And, well, yes, it would have had, it would have had a religion. It would have had things like Druids and all this sort of thing. It wouldn't have had priests or anything like that. No, there would have been a few people who would have gone, Christianity, that's what I believe in. Definitely, that's my personal religion. But that wasn't the country. The country didn't believe in that sort of thing. And what's strange about it is that basically the Catholic Church, the institution, has this story, and they think, okay, this story, as far as we can tell, is a story of a man who forcibly converts a country to a religion. Now, if you're an independent person and you are from the Catholic Church, you might think, that's probably not a great thing to celebrate, is it? Someone trying to subvert a religion. I mean, you wouldn't have that today, hopefully. You wouldn't have people going, oh yes, well, I came to a country now, and you know what I did? Well, guess what I did? I made them all convert to my religion. I know, isn't it amazing? Yes, I made them, yes, I forcibly stopped them practicing their religion and made them practice my religion. That's what I did there. So obviously you're going to praise me. Well, of course, no, you probably wouldn't, because you're thinking, well, that's not very nice. Maybe you shouldn't use propaganda to shove your own religion down someone's throat. And, that's what people would say in the modern day, If you were a Christian, you wouldn't go, well, no, you wouldn't do, you're trying to convince me to join your cult. Yes, definitely, you should be praised for that. No, you wouldn't, though, because the thing is that someone's not going to react that way. Instead, they're going to react pretty badly. And that's what's strange about the story of St. Patrick and how it's celebrated, because it is basically a celebration of Christianity. So if you're not a Christian, it's very weird because people have this idea, oh, there's a lot of festivals. It's not festivals that they're not really religious in origin, or if they are religious in origin, they're where you think they originate, they don't really. Halloween, for example, that originates from a pagan festival. That religion is no longer celebrated by a majority of people. So the majority of people who would celebrate Halloween, who would have Halloween breaks, who would go trick-or-treating, who do all these things, who dress up in Halloween costumes, they wouldn't be believers in the religion that comes from. Same thing for Christmas. Christmas comes from a German pagan religion. That religion is no longer practiced by the majority of people. But of course, Christianity took that festival over and went, okay, we need the Germans to come to our religion. Catholic Church goes, okay, let's form Christianity. We'll now take this celebration around the 25th of December and just make it Christian. And it becomes Christmas. Changes from Xmas to Christmas. And this is the kind of thing I have with a lot of religious festivals. But what's interesting is that they're not actually religious in, origin. Or if they are religious in origin, they're not religious in the sense that you would think they are. You've got all these different celebrations around this time. And one of the unusual ones that actually is in origin is St. Patrick's Day. But that's not a day that people always realise. They celebrate it as a day of Irishness, but it's not really Irishness in a way, because of course you've got St. Patrick, a man from Wales, bringing, a religion which is from Palestine, Christian religion. This religion is from Palestine, so also not Irish. And the only thing he's doing is forcing it on the Irish people. That is, of course, one of the weird things you have with celebrations. You don't have this. You wouldn't think about it realistically. You're thinking, okay, well then maybe this is a bit of a weird thing to celebrate. It's basically a day where it's like, yes, today we forced people to do things we wanted them to do, and also they're going to celebrate this day. We're not really even going to celebrate this day at all. Like maybe a bit, but you don't see, the Vatican celebrating St. Patrick's Day as much as you would, the Irish. Even though the Irish are the ones who had the religion pushed aside, and the Vatican is the people who are the ones doing the pushing. Technically, I guess you could say that's not really their fault if some person came over and was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it do this religion. Of course, you could argue, well, I mean, technically, like St. Patrick's is not really an accurate story. But of course, you could argue, well, it may not be accurate totally. Obviously, there were no snakes around. He didn't drive the snakes out like that. That wouldn't work. I mean, if you want to drive the snakes out, you're ultimately going to cause problems, because that's how the ecosystem works. You drive the snakes out, something that, either needs snakes to protect it, or is, snakes is its predator, or snakes are its prey. You're going to unbalance an ecosystem. This is getting a bit of a weird argument where it's like, yeah, St. Patrick would have imbalanced an ecosystem if he actually drove the snakes out of Ireland. That's why there were no snakes originally in Ireland. That's a proof. Like, well, no, it's not really. But the point making is this: St. Patrick's Day is a fairly weird celebration at the end of the day. It's not that weird in its celebration in its fashion. It's just the way that it is celebrated, when it kind of is a bit of a weird idea to celebrate if you don't agree with, well, the things. Like, once again, Christmas, not technically a Christian festival. It became one, but it wasn't originally. So, technically, you celebrate Christmas. Well, you could say, well, no, I'm actually celebrating the ancient German one that originates before Christmas. So, celebrate Halloween. I'm not celebrating the capitalist style, consumerism style of eating sweets. I'm celebrating the dress up and, and costumes that scare kind of thing. It's, they're not always necessarily the nicest of festivals, Halloween is a bit. But, they are, diverse in their origins, where the origins of them are oftentimes, well, a little bit more interesting than you might imagine. This one, a bit weirder. Anyway, there you have St. Patrick's Day, a day of Catholic celebration, or Christian celebration really. That's the end of the video. Thank you for listening, and please do come back next time. We'll be looking at other things. You can also view other videos, and you can also subscribe to the channel. Absolutely perfection. If you don't view other videos, well, bye for now, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of your existence.